Welcome everybody! It's a perfectly fine day on Dragonshire. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and we are once again on the Korean server with MVP Sake on his Smurf account, Akma, as you can see here. And well, in this case, he's playing Tychus, so I can already promise you that this is going to be a pretty fun match here. This is a HeroLeague game. Once again, I want to highlight this is not the entire MVP team that is playing here. The guys are, of course, going to keep this training as a secret. But at least we're having a little bit of HeroLeague action with him, and after we saw him already dominate on a false set, let's see what the bad boy is going to be able to pull off on Tychus, the Renegade. And also another friend from one of the previous games is with us once again. It is Hard Johnson on Leoric once more, rocking that Cloud9 mount, completely triggering Sake probably. And one sweet day we will have the two of them on different sides, and then Sake can finally execute revenge for Hard Johnson not using that MVP mount. But let's jump into the game here. We have, in terms of the setup, as you can already see, a solo tank on the side of Sake's team, rocking Hard Johnson's Leoric. And at the same time, we're currently looking also at a double tank for the opponent with an ETC and also Artanis. So we're on Dragonshire, as already mentioned before, and up to the top lane we're seeing now a Thrall immediately taking position. He is one of the best solo laners that we have in the game, so it makes sense to send him on a solo lane. On Dragonshire, what you usually do is rotate between middle and bot lane with 4 heroes, trying to get a bit of a dominant position. One of the main reasons for that is that the bot lane has access to 3 camps in total after the 2-minute mark, and that's one of the main things, but you really try and just like sneak one of those in if you get a dominant spot. When we talk about talents a little bit, and we have on level 1 already the dash taken here from Sake, the running gun with the movement speed increase. This is one of the quest talents that we have. Talking quest talents, we are, by the way, currently in the patch 17.5, so it's not the Chromie patch yet. And the Chromie patch got released a little bit later on the Korean server, as you might know, and I got the game sent before. But I already have gotten a bit of a promise that I will at some point also receive Chromie replays as well, and then put them on the channel here, so don't worry folks. We have some pretty sweet games coming up from the Korean scene. Not only with the Tychus and the False that we saw the other day, but also with Tracer, for example. So there's definitely a few things to look forward to. When it comes to the talents, we have the reactive carry taken on the side of good old Artanis. And look at that, Dimeback 2 minutes into the game, moves into the middle, and Falstad is too late, and therefore the first Dragonite in the hands of the blue team. But ETC at the bot lane also falling, as all of a sudden Tychus dashing forward, trying to go for Brightwing. And the Dragonite with a punt kill, maybe? Oh, close, but not quite. 100 hit points were missing there, but it was definitely a good effort. Up to the top lane, we have Zeratul, by the way. And I mean, if you haven't really looked too much at the two setups that we're seeing for the teams here, you by now probably noticed already that we have Thrall Zeratul on the side of the blue team. Especially Zeratul up here is having a bit of a rough time against Artanis right now. But the only range damage that we see in the team is actually that Tychus from Sake that we've been talking about a bit earlier. In the rhythm, the minigun has been chosen here on level 4. So this is actually one of those things where it's very interesting to see that Tychus in the first place is once again in the play. He's a little bit awkward to play sometimes. His trade does, in this case, well, his trade doesn't do anything because he needs to somehow stay alive, and that's not going to be easy. But he dishes out the damage, and Artanis is all of a sudden in trouble. In comes once more the shot, and boom! 2 kills on the side of the blue team. Sake survives with 30 hit points. Falstad, oh my god, what a fail. Flies in deep, a little bit deeper than he probably would have wanted to, and he goes down right away. So yeah, the thing about Tychus is that sometimes his kit can be a little bit awkward. You want to go for the overkill, but at the same time you want to get a max value out of your trade with a minigun. And if you actually go for that, then yeah, you have to always make the choice which one to use. So a lot of the Tychus players will try and go for the trade first, burst down the max hit points a little bit before they finally go into overkill. Sake already pushing back the bot lane here. And well, in this case we're having now 4 kills against 0. Blue team actually putting in quite the effort. But keep in mind that one of the biggest assets that we are seeing for the red team is of course that Sylvanas. Once that you get a bit of pressure going, once that you get the Dragonite, you can get a massive amount of value out of Sylvanas. And they have a pretty beefy frontline here. So level 10 is going to be a huge part of their composition, since then they can also rely on ETC with his mod pit, which can always turn a game around. Besides that, when we're talking talents, of course, we have now on level 7 the quarterback taken after the In the Rhythm. It's a bit of a different Tychus build that you probably have seen in most of your matches. We have also now Chain Lightning taken, or Thrall Lightning, sorry, Chain Lightning taken Roaring Thunder, right, the Lightning on the side of Thrall. At the top lane, ETC and Artanis have been looking for a moment. And look at that, the MVP mount. Now that must be pretty cool for Sake to actually see that. It's the opponent that runs in though. Hard Johnson still refuses to see the light here. Falstad trying to fly to the top. We have to talk for one moment about Falstad and Brightwing here on this map, honestly. Because those two heroes are actually incredibly strong when it comes to control on the map. Yeah, Artanis goes in, and Artanis, healed by Brightwing, tries to escape and is able to get away. Well done by him. Good job, buddy. Same time as we can see here, we are seeing a bit of a focus on Thrall, who might not be able to get away. As they kill, as Falstad is able to get the extra damage in. But as I just was about to say, Falstad and Brightwing are of course absolutely strong when it comes to this map. You always want to be in a position where you can use your global abilities to just put a bit of a numeric advantage into your team's hands when they're fighting over a shrine, fighting over the Dragon Knight, or anything like it. So these two are going to be absolutely crucial when we are talking about like map control in particular. But as of now, we are seeing in one level lead for the blue team. Sake and his boys are doing well here, and they are already moving on to level 10. Zeratul, on the other hand, is trying to get away, and very well played. Yeah, Fish is not able to get close enough with Artanis to put him down. So well done here. We're seeing paralysis, by the way, for... Ooh, Tychus going down in the middle while we have that fight at the top, which is still raging on, by the way. So Diamondback on his Thrall once again in a little bit of trouble trying to get away here as Falstad flies in to secure the kill against Rhaegar. Yeah, oh my god. Barely escaping there. We're seeing Sylvanas attempting to just somehow get the final shot in, but that's not really quite working out. They are on level 10, by the way, the blue team is, but it doesn't really help them too much. The wall at the top is being destroyed. Sylvanas is immediately moving in, and now we are seeing the red team attempting to go for level 10, but Hard Johnson is in play all of a sudden. Here comes the Dragon Laser Drill, he goes for the Entomb, and the kill, as we simply have the pulse, the mosh pit being used as well. It's a kill for a kill, but now we're seeing Zeratul fall as well, and the red team is starting to get a bit of a lead here. Job well done. Once the heroic abilities hit, they've been able to do a lot of solid work here. So we have the suppression pulse taken for Artanis. It's actually like an absolutely fantastic heroic ability if you're up against a team that is dealing a lot of auto attack damage, and that's what they're going to try and use here. Again, we're seeing the Dragon Knight not channel because they already realized that Sylvanas at the bot lane is going to cap that particular shrine a little bit faster. When it comes to heroic abilities, by the way, Sake is of course someone that has enough experience with StarCraft 2 to know that real men drill deep. He went for the Dragon Laser Drill, and I mean, he has someone on his team that is called Hard Johnson, so whatever choice to use. Brightwing goes down. They might get a kill against Thrall on the other hand. He was trying to go in, but a good Void Prison here prevents that. So they're able to disengage here. Leoric is back in and is maybe attempting to go for a quick Entomb. Doesn't really see an opportunity just yet. He still has the chance though. Entomb could be used here. Hard Johnson not going for it yet. Once more the Dragon Knight maybe, but nope. Zeratul not even going for it, since up at the top lane we're seeing Artanis claiming one of the shrines. So pretty cool back and forth game already. We're seeing 6 kills against 4 right now. We have the Hinterland Blast as the heroic ability on Falstad. Don't really see that too often, but it's a bit more popular these days once again. Zeratul went into the Vigorous Strike, and we also have, well, with Vigorous Strike already taken, this is basically a sentiment where you say, I don't trust my team. Rhaegar hasn't really done anything wrong just yet. Oh, the snipe! Thrall was shocked and awed as the Hinterland Blast hits him full in the face. But at this point we're seeing the Vigorous Strike taking over the Warful Blades, considering that there's a Sylvanas and a Falstad in the game. I would actually deem that to be a bit of a mistake here on the side of Zeratul. Usually with those heroes on the opponent's team, you are trying to go for a build that allows you just to keep tabs on them and really stay close. Warful Blades are fantastic for that, but they have really used them. A mosh pit attempt at the bot lane to maybe isolate Rhaegar, but the damage dealers were not in range to really help out here. But the red team is starting to really pressure and pressure hard. They're using Sylvanas as they should. Up at the top, on the other hand, we have a little bit of a dance happening here between Artanis and Leoric. And yeah, that's not gonna do anything. Going for the B-step, and apparently Artanis was asking for some assistance. Nice swap here, but Hard Johnson wouldn't be Hard Johnson if he couldn't just Wraith walk away out of this one. At the bot lane, on the other hand, the fight is still raging. The Sunder engaged, trying to go for Brightwing. Blink Heal should be ready. Suppression Pulse used, and they're starting to jump in. Level 13 talents are ready for Sake's team, but they lose Rhaegar a little bit too early. Sake himself on his Tychus, still trying to go for the damage here at the same time. Thrall is now being attacked. Hard Johnson comes in, and as ETC is low, they might go for the kill here, but Thrall falls first. Leoric has to move away. Sake is low. He went on level 13, by the way, for That's the Stuff. So also for one of the heal talents, goes for the minigun here. Already used minigun within the rhythm on level 4. But you can already tell that this is starting to look more and more like they just simply don't trust Rhaegar. HeroLeague problems right there. At the top lane, Zeratul, Atanis doesn't really know where to go. He's like, yeah, I can do something. Oh, and he misses the swap, unfortunately. Level 13 talents now on both sides, and that means that we have now for Sylvanas Windrunner taken. She went on level 7 into the Barbed Shot. We're seeing also the Giant Killer after Flow Rider. So basically, Fawcett going for Gathering Storm ability and damage build, but on 13 still the talent. The heal on Sake on his Tychus. The drill is out, but already taken down, and they're starting to jump in again against Artanis, who in 13 waiting for the Faithful Ward. He gets trapped by the Entomb. Suppression Pulse being used, trying to stay alive here, gets the shield from Brightwing, jumps in, jumps out, Mosh Pit used, but interrupted. And the kill against ETC, not quite, but Leoric is down. Sylvanas is falling as well. They get the counter kill against Thrall, though. 2-for-1 trade in favor of the red team as they're trying to jump in against Tychus once more. The red team really putting up a fight here. I'm liking it. These boys are meaning business. We're seeing the follow-through for Tannis, by the way, after the Templar's Zeal here. And we had the reactive parry, as highlighted before, on level 1. Bot lane pressure, still not over. Hard Johnson on his Leoric is going to be back in a moment. We have both of the shrines under the control of the red team in the top lane. Fawcett took down Zeratul, but down here the fight is still going on. Hard Johnson wants the kill. He wants it against Brightwing, and there they move in and they get the double kill. Rhaegar blocking the path of ETC, taking him down. Brightwing also eliminated. And we are looking at a situation where we now have level 15 for both of the teams, 9 kills against 10. Pretty kill-heavy game, actually. And when we talk at damage, we can see that once again Sake on his Tychus is taking the top damage in the game, 45,000, even more than what we have on Sylvanas for the opponent's team. Fawcett, oh, once again, Hard Johnson with a place here. Nice swap, though, from Artanis. I like his plays a lot. Suppression Pulse even being used to make sure that he stays alive, but bot lane is now fully under the control of the blue team. And in the middle of the map, we are already seeing Fawcett trying to interrupt the potential Dragonite. The problem is that we already have 2 heroes in here. Brightwing is making her move, moving into the middle as well. Can they get it? Yes, they do. The blue team takes it, and now, of course, they can try and get a bit more damage done. As at the bot lane, we're seeing Sylvanas with a Wailing Arrow, keeping herself alive with her ult before Zeratul jumps in, but ETC... Sylvanas. Yeah, well, Sylvanas' problems right there. First, she saves herself with a Wailing Arrow, and then she gets a bit cocky, stays too long, and is taken out by Zeratul after all. But the Dragonite is still going ham, 16 talents are in, and we see the Titan Grenade now being used. A lot of percentage damage is being dealt out by Sake right now. Again, ETC with the Mosh Pit, trying to buy some time. They try to go for the kill against Rhaegar. Here comes Artanis. He should go for it. Entomb has been used. Fawcett is down. It's 2 heroes remaining. The 2 tanks are trying to get away here. They got the kill against Rhaegar. Can they escape, though? It doesn't really look like it. Nope. ETC is dead, and that is kill number 13 for Sake's team. The MVP Black player also about to take down Artanis. It's an entire team wipe that we see. And for now, we are double checking, of course. Burning Rage on Zeratul. Don't really see that too often. So the rapid displacement, the vigorous strike, it's a bit of an alternative build that you see for Zeratul here with the Burning Rage and now also the Stones being taken. You would expect on 13 the Wormhole to be claimed, but right now the idea is a little bit of a different one. Damage output on his part. Titan Grenade for Sake. And as we talk about the MVP Black player, let's go over his build for just a moment once again. He went for the dash on level 1. We're seeing him within the rhythm on level 4. Quarterback on 7. And now after the drill, that's the stuff on 13 and the Titan Grenade on level 6. Up to the top lane, Fawcett is just basically trying to take down a few of those minions and get some experience for his team. But Zeratul always a menace, so you need to be careful with that. And one of the reasons why we are seeing on level 60 now the greater polymorph taken by Brightwing is exactly that Zeratul that we were talking about. And also, of course, the Brawl at the same time. if you have the polymorph duration increase, you can really work against those a little bit better. We're also seeing an ice block right-wing apparently really respecting all of this. Artanis went into the shield surge after the phase forward. Survivability is what he's aiming for right now, and he has the suppression pulse, and a good one at that. Once again, the Wailing Arrow also being used, so they're going for the silence here. Great synergy here. They're trying to just completely make the entire team useless as Artanis jumps in and out. Once again, they're attempting to go for Rhaegar, and Rhaegar is about to fall. Might escape, doesn't, but Artanis is also taken down. Once more, Hard Johnson at the front line, trying to go for maybe Sylvanas. Not able to eliminate her, but it's still a 4 versus 4 situation. Zeratul, on the other hand, is not with the rest of the team, so it was a 4 versus 5 the entire time. The problem is that Thrall is about to fall, and they get the snipe against Tychus. Sake is down. Great play by Fossil once again. That mosh pit definitely doing work, and then the Hinterland Blast just delivering the final blow. At the top, Zeratul has been doing damage thus far, which is actually one of the reasons why they are an entire level ahead right now, and that will come in an earlier level 20 for them. But the blue team is down 3 heroes, and this is one of the situations where the red team is trying to use the situation on the map to just move in and get a few of the camps to pressure the lanes, force them back. But we have level 20 in, and that's the Spectral Leech for Leoric already. And that, of course, is going to help him to stay alive in these fights as well. And overall, the build's really focusing a lot on percentage damage, what we are currently seeing from everyone here. We're having a bit of a rotation down to the bottom right now, where Hard Johnson has to walk out of it. Alright, he is able to escape in this case. But now that we have the shrines up, the teams are going to try and look for a Dragon Knight, and the red team, that would be there first. Rhaegar, by the way, went straight into his Storm Shield on level 20, and we are having Bob and Weave now on the side of Tychus. So Sake going into the additional run and gun, and it kind of makes sense if you think about the level 1 talent that he chose here. And he's of course trying to make sure that he's able to have mobility in the game and more survivability than overall. Nexus Blades used for Zeratul, definitely not your everyday build that he's using here. We're seeing the Bolt of the Storm, and we have also now the level 20s for the opponent's team, where we see, of course, Epic Mount being chosen. Here comes Driving, they're trying to go for the kill, and Rhaegar is down. Bit of a weak point for the team here, very far out into the fights, Rhaegar, most of the time. So that's a bit of a problem that their blue team has to deal with at this point. We're seeing also Force of Will taken for Artanis right now, getting the additional reduction. Survivability is everything. Deafening Blast has been chosen, Brightwing went straight into the Storm Shield as well, and now with the Epic Mount, Fawcett is just like hopping all over the place and trying to make sure that they have a bit more presence on the map. And this is one of the main reasons why you go for Brightwing and Fawcett in the first place. I mean, we've talked about this already at the beginning of the game. You kind of need to make sure that you have that. Once more, we are seeing Zeratul and Artanis. It's just like basically Ring Around the Rosie that these boys are playing at the top lane every single time they try and stuff. Sake with a solid 74,000 damage on his Tychus, by the way. He died 2 times, but a pretty high kill count here on his part. Sylvanas is the second highest damage dealer in the game, and she's currently at 63,000. But of course, when we're talking siege damage, she is currently taking the top spot with 133k. We're seeing the blue team trying to go for a position, but the red team is really starting to get a very nice handle on this game right now. We have 15 kills on both sides, so a very close match. But we have also now everybody starting to move back down to the bottom shrine, and the red team is pushing in at the same time. They have a bit of a problem, and it's a top lane camp that is pushing in. There comes Hard Johnson. He wants to have the Dragon Knight. There's the push on the other hand. Nobody is really defending, and we're seeing the red team trying to aim for the first keep in the game, and it looks like they are going to be able to make that happen. The problem is that Zeratul is sneaking in the Dragon Knight at the same time. The keep at the bot lane is about to fall. The Dragon Knight is ready though, and at the top we still have this camp pushing. Dragon Knight doesn't even think about going anywhere else but into the fight. He wants to fight here. Hard Johnson is moving in. He has the Entomb ready. We've seen him use that several times. He definitely knows how to use his ult, and they're starting to jump in. The red team with an attempt to escape here, but that's the Sundering trying to isolate Brightwing. Ice Block used, Suppression Pulse as well. Waving Arrow also. The Brightwing player is dead, and this is the mosh pit, but no follow-up. Nice damage negation for a few seconds. Dimebag is trying to get away. Sylvanas is down. 2 heroes dead. It's a 5 versus 3, and the rest of the team is not safe yet either. Falset flew to the top trying to defend, but at this point we're seeing ETC falling, and it's the kill against Artanis. And all of a sudden the blue team with the momentum, they're starting to move in, and Falset is looking at his heroic moves. He's like, oh shit, why didn't I take Mighty Gust? Yeah, well, can he actually do something with his snipe here? Because that Dragon Knight nearly 20 minutes into the game is hurting, and it's hurting a lot. Starting to move in with one hit after another. The keep is down there, going for core, and this is looking good for the blue team. Sake by now nearly with 100,000 euro damage, and he wants to make it 100k. Not quite ready to do that though, since Forza does not fly out anymore. Nice block, and this is game, ladies and gentlemen, as the blue team is victorious on Dragonshire and brings home the victory.
Blue team is victorious.